Trustees, let's start to get situated as we call this meeting to order. We'll call this meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. on Tuesday, October 12th. Once again, 7:02 p.m. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance and then the Lord's Prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Roll call.
Trustee Dyson.
Present.
Trustee Maxey.
Present.
Trustee Bruton.
Present.
Trustee Robinson.
Present.
Trustee Jackson.
Present.
Trustee Collier. Mayor Bryant.
Present.
Administrator Washington. Present. Roll call. There is a quorum established.
Okay. Let's go and establish. Moving down to item number 1. It's approval of previous minutes for September 1st, September 14th, and September the 27th. Is that correct, clerk? Right. All right. Give the board time to review that. motion whenever the board is ready. Board.
Mayor Bryant,
Trustee Robinson.
I'd like to make, a motion to approve the previous minutes from September 1st, September 14th, and September 27th, 2021.
Moved by trustee Robinson, second by trustee Rudy to approve the previous minutes of September 1st, September 14th, and September 22nd. Any questions? Seeing and hearing none, let me know my roll call.
Trustee Dyson?
Yes.
Trustee Maxey?
Yes.
Trustee Bruton?
Yes.
Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
And Trustee Collier is absent. Roll call.
So moved. Moving down to item number 2, on the agenda, communications and announcements.
Just have one announcement, Mayor. Colson's Cool Music and Superb Herb Productions presents Grooving on a Sunday evening, Stepping to Hit After Hit, Part 3, Sunday, November 7, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., dinner served at 6 p.m. at the Robbins Community Center, 13800 South Trumbo in Robbins. Advance tickets $10, at the door $15. Mature adults only, preferred vaccinated, and mask required. $50 for the best mask contest. For more information, tickets, or to reserve a table, contact Larry at 312-909-8182.
Okay. Also, under communications and announcements, this is the appropriate time. We do have a representation from the Cook County President's, Tony Pertwinkle's office here tonight, just to address the citizens of Robbins and give some updates from the President's office. So without further ado, Mr. Al Kendall, will you please come up? You want to come up, or how did you want?
Yeah, I'll come up.
Absolutely.
Where is
You can come to this podium right here.
All right. Do I get to turn on the YouTube stuff too?
You need the projector as well?
No, no.
Okay, whatever you need, sir.
I'm just messing with you. Let me share this.
Absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Giving honor to God. My name is Adolphus Al Kendall. I'm the Special Assistant for Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. And there are one key thing I want to present, and there's several supplemental. The first being is called Fair Transit. The Fair Transit, the President and the Cook County Board invested $30 million to reduce our fare costs riding Metra and Rock Island Electric, in addition to reducing fares and the frequency and expanding services on Halsted Street bus. That would be pace number 352. That will allow to reduce the transportation times, because based on our studies, Southern Cook has the longest transportation in terms of hours on the road than anyone else. And that's prohibitive to both growth and development and obtaining jobs within the South Suburban region. And therefore, the President saw it was critical in order to make that investment as we try and expand the job opportunities within Southern Cook, as well as the ability for our employees and our residents to get to and fro in order to take care, get access to opportunities in the Southland and elsewhere. So if you get on Rock Island, if you get on Metra, that fare has been reduced. So there's nothing there that you have to do. The President, they've already done it for you. The fares are already reduced. It's a 3-year pilot that we have going. And so that will measure whether we should continue it, or we'll be able to get other players from the state, even the city of Chicago, to help buy into the program, or if we're able to expand it. But key to it is getting ridership on it. So it's important that municipalities and residents in the room share this with your neighbors. Share this with your neighbors. The President has stepped out here and made this investment, taking this risk, couldn't find other partners, but we're doing it on our own because we believe in the Southland. And so that's key. And obviously a lot of you, so if you have any questions on that, I'll entertain a momentary question on that before I transition. Anybody had a question on that?
Does that apply to paratransit also?
If paratransit is going, I don't exactly know about paratransit. So I'll find out if that applies to paratransit in terms of the transportation. We work closely with paratransit and work closely with PACE around bus shelters and other things. And I understand there was a request around bus shelters, and I'll take those locations and see what we can get done, because as you know, that is a capital improvement, so it's not like overnight, but perhaps there can be improvements that can be made for certain bus shelters that can be addressed in terms of cleanup and the rest.
The
Yes,
next part of that question was, in dealing with paratransit, it's a good service. Can it be better? Yes. It could be better routed, however they route it, because it's like, if a person is going, if there are 2 or 3 people going in the same direction, that don't always happen. You know, it's only one in there that's going in that. So that way, the time for them to get where they're going is longer. And the dispatchers that dispatch these cars, they can do better.
Well, what I'm gonna say is, I'm a guest tonight, so I won't go into long details on, shortages and advantages of things individually, because they had a real meeting to go through, right? So I'm not gonna try and do that today, and I will come back for such conversations, but know that we don't run PACE, we contribute to PACE.
Okay.
But as a representative of the President, I certainly would take back any requests you give and try and facilitate that as best I can. The other thing that I want to make sure that we don't forget is the President, they put $75 million aside for rental assistance.
So if you know someone that's behind in their rent and need assistance, there is money that's there, but there's a deadline, and that is October the 31st. So there's a deadline of when to apply for that. Then there's also through CETA, which the part of Cook County, there is water bill assistance that's being offered. And so I want to make sure that you know about that. I'm going to give a little short blurb and hope that the president will consider, the mayor will consider running it, inserting these short blips in your water bill. Because we're trying to get the information out, we know it's timely, and we think that that's a critical way, and perhaps in your newsletter and the rest. So those two things is important. So the rental assistance, the water bill assistance, then of course the Metro. They're important for the Metro. We're trying to get people to know that there's a 3-year pilot. We want to try and move that. Our residents are using, those who want to. You know, you got the park and ride service, and then be able to use it as it relates to going into the holiday season. And then lastly, we want to talk about the 6,000 jobs that are available with Amazon. There is an explosion of logistical management, transportation, and other positions that are becoming available within our region. But it's also important that we gear our youth, our kids, to take advantage of these opportunities. Because they're there, it doesn't mean that they always take advantage of them. And so that's a soapbox of mine on the side. But the Amazon is there, and I want to make sure that you know about that. So that's my hit parade. I can take a short question if you want me to.
Does that discount just apply to PACE 352, just that route? For clarification.
I'm not for certain.
Okay.
I have to get back on that one.
Okay.
I did send it over and ask. I believe it's related to 352 and Metro and Rock Island.
Okay.
Because I know $30 million seemed like a lot, but that's all the money we were put there.
Okay.
We did try and get the state and the city of Chicago to buy into the program, but we couldn't. So we took the risk and we just put our own money out there.
Okay, and the CETA, is there a deadline for that? The water bill assistance?
I'm sure there's a deadline for all of it,
Yeah, 'cause you
but
got
I'm gonna
some-
give you, through the mayor, the blurb, the contact, so that you can insert it and get it out to your residents.
Thank you.
But for the rental assistance, that's for certain is the end of the month.
And I did, to the citizens, I did just recently receive that email, not necessarily from you yet, but from another source, and I believe that amnesty's up to $1,500 in the water bill, something of that magnitude, with some other stipulations too, though. Let me also say that there are stipulations to all this stuff as far as COVID related and hardships and things of that nature.
That's
So,
correct. That's
we do
correct.
want to make sure that this is requirements.
That's right. So if you just trying to get the money just to get it, the answer is no. Yes, ma'am.
How about home repairs?
Well, that is again part of CETA. And CETA does have provisions for home repair, and it does have stipulations that are related to that. And I will get information to bring back about CETA, but tonight I want to make sure that my presentation is to this point and kind of crisp. So I don't want to come here and just do a town hall
So you
meeting.
would have to contact the mayor's office. to
That
get-
was best always to contact the mayor and then your trustees and the rest. So I'm not coming to replace that process. But I had, a set of things I wanted to present. Yes, ma'am.
Would this project have something to do with the new ASAP transportation system?
No, ma'am.
You know,
It is specifically about ridership and offering opportunities for those who commute for work and those who may have stopped commuting to get them to come back. And offering at a reduced fare because Metro and Rock Island are significantly higher than what you would pay in the city for regular bus transportation. So we thought by trying to equalize it out, so when you transferring, you wouldn't have a significant increase. And I believe that when you transfer, I don't think you're paying a transfer fare between the two. I believe that's part of the money that we paid Metro and Rock Island to help cover that. And the 352 bus, it runs every 10 minutes now. And it got expanded services running later.
Mr.
Yes,
President?
sir.
What is the website for the rental systems?
I'm gonna give it to the mayor, give it to you. I believe it is www.shycookilrental.gov. But I have it in my phone. I'm gonna text it to the mayor, and you guys gotta all have it as of tonight. All right, my phone number is 313-434-3851. 313-434-3851.
Can we have your name again?
My name is Al Kendall,
A-L-E?
A-L. They used to call me Big Al, but I lost 100 pounds. So you can just call me
Spell the
Al.
last name, please.
Kindle.
Kendall.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to thank the mayor for making sure I came tonight. And
Followed up, brother. Followed up, brother.
And lastly, we do have what's called a hyper-local strategy for COVID, of which we're able to go door to door, come to individuals' homes, send transportation if they want to get shots. And we'll be working with the mayor to coordinate that and provide that. And we'll just make sure to at least let you know about that. All right? I want to thank you all for giving me the graciousness of your time.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Thanks for coming out.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You're the first group to clap. There's something right tonight. Yes, sir.
All right. Stand on communications and announcements. Just gonna have the clerk read this. Ms. Fulson just gave this to me. That's Community Fest.
Robbins United Community Harvest Fest. Again, it's at the Robbins Community Center, 13800 Trumbull Avenue. And this is gonna be Friday, October 29th, 2021, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're gonna have a haunted house. Admission is $5. Children ages 4 through 11. It's $10 for ages 12 and up. Then on Saturday, October 30th, 2021, we have a free youth harvest fest. Activities, refreshments, costume, contest. That's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The haunted house part 2 is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's hosted by Sharice Reese High. For more information, call 708-577-4752.
And on the other side,
Sorry.
tree.
Robbins Park District Community Tree Planting, Saturday, October 23rd, 2021, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again at the Robbins Community Center, 13800 Trumbull Avenue. To register as a volunteer, call 708-577-4752. Thank you for your assistance and continued support.
And then I'd like it back.
All right, now I just pulled this up on my Instagram. Chop Shop is having their trunk or treat. All right, Sunday, October the 31st, hosted by the Chop Shop here at 3302 West 137th Street, Robbins, Illinois. Begins at 3 p.m. Sunday, October the 31st. So bring your kids out along with the Harvest Fest. It'll be a nice weekend. Okay, so we got something for Friday in the village, Saturday for the village, and then ended it at the Chop Shop on Sunday. All right, nice weekend. All right, I believe that's it. Item number 3, administrative reports. Starting with the mayor's report, okay? There are mayor reports on the back table. If you haven't received one, please go back and get one. So we have new standing committees as well that the board should already be abreast or briefs on, but I just want to make sure that the citizens have a copy as well of the new standing committees. As you can tell as well, there are new administrative positions with Ms. Washington being installed as the village administrator, and then Mr. Stroger as the executive assistant, who will also be the partner for Springfield this upcoming week. Okay, whole citizen, we have every first and third Saturday of the month, the financial empowerment courses that are still going on. And then I'm gonna continue to put this on my agenda because it will come into realization is we are bringing a grocery store into Robbins, okay? And we talk about it every day. We on the track, okay? We'll talk more about that on the comprehensive planning that will start on Saturday, October the 23rd. I'm jump down to Robbins United. Saturday, October the 23rd will be the Robbins United breakfast with all of our entities, okay? This will be the first time all of our entities sit down as one, all right? Just trying to talk about how can we help one another, okay? Whose books look the best, right? Maybe the library can float a bomb better than the village, who knows? But this would be a good conversation to have starting on October the 23rd, in which we all can help each other, okay? It's not going to be open to the public yet. This first breakfast is just going to be for our board members, our elected board, okay? And each entity. All right, now going down to rebuilding the foundation, CDBG, not Cook County, I was thinking about out there, Community Development Block Grant. Bidding is currently happening right now. Please see the clerk's office for more details in regards to bidding. This is a nice size job that's going on in Robbins, okay? If you're qualified, submit your bid. If you're qualified, submit your bid and your paperwork, your insurance, everything will be asked for. So please stop by the clerk's office for more information tomorrow. Or my office as well. Public safety. David Shepard was installed as new police chief last week. We are currently seeking public safety grants for equipment and facilities. And we do currently have a negotiation date set for both the police and fire department, okay? So I want to reassure to the citizens that not only are we trying our best efforts to keep you safe, but we are working with these unions to make sure that we resolve the issues, okay? So that is going on currently. And that concludes my mayor's report. Letter B, clerk's report.
I don't have a report per se right now, Mayor, but I do want to give a heads up to our youth. This is for our youth. We're planning a contest to design the upcoming village sticker for the following year. Right now, we're looking at grades 6 through 8. We're working out the details, and we'll have more details, more information in the coming weeks. We're looking to work with Keller as well as Nathan Hale School. But if you know any youth that want to get their brains going, make up a design for the village sticker, the prize is going to be lunch with the mayor. So we're looking forward to that. So more details to come.
Mayor Bryant?
Trustee Robinson.
I have a question for Madam Clerk. I was wondering, are we able to get monthly reports on, say, like how many business licenses maybe have been applied for, transfer stamps, and it was one more other thing, permits given out within the village?
Okay, now the permits that will come from the building department, is that what you, okay?
All right, so,
But you need
business licenses applied for and how many transfer stamps we've given out.
applied.
And you said the permits come from the building
Yes,
department?
if they're doing permits, for work done,
Okay.
that would come from the building department, Denise.
Thank you.
Anything else, clerk's report? Letter C, the treasurer's report.
Mayor Bryant?
Trustee Brody.
I would not have a church report today.
There is no treasurer's report, okay? Item number 4, standing committee reports.
Mayor Bryant?
Trustee Robinson.
The first thing that I want to report out on is the ordinance and license committee. So first I want to say thank you to Mrs. Murphy for reaching out to me in an effort to make sure that we are going through our ordinances to see what works for our village, to see if we need to amend anything. So we will not be having our meeting this Thursday, but it will be the following Tuesday. So next Tuesday, we'll have a meeting. I think it's important that we do go through, some of the fees are extremely low and we can, update them in conjunction with the current times. Some of these fees are like $5 and maybe they can be boosted up to $20. The other thing is, this past week, I was at, Worth Township fundraiser with, the Southland Black Chamber of Commerce. Met a lot of more people. The one thing that I wanted to, say, and Dr. Darden and his wife can attest to this, is that the elected officials in Worth Township, apologize thoroughly for them not giving as much attention to the village of Robbins. But they said that they haven't really seen many people. They did ask about Mayor Bryant. From the last event that we went to over there, everybody was asking for your presence. And so I think it's important that we continue to pound the pavement and make sure, you know, that we get out in places so people can see our face. I'll be at as many things as I possibly can. I know Trustee Dyson went to an event last week on Thursday at a round table with other elected officials. So I just think that we need to make sure that we're out there, because if we're in their face, then they know, you know, we have needs, and they ask. And you know what, I have a list of things that I can rattle off, with public safety being like one of my top priorities. I had a chance to meet Sheriff Tom Dart, and he actually sent me a card to the village that is handwritten. So I thought that was very nice. He said anything that we need, make sure we give him a call. Mayor Bryant already knows this because he's been in direct contact with them. But I think the more that we get out there, the more that people see our face and we articulate what our needs are, that people will begin to step up to the plate. So this week, I'm actually looking forward to someone either delivering some money to the village, or either they're gonna give me the check so I can bring it down here myself. And that's my report, Mayor Bryant.
Okay. Standing committee reports.
This isn't really a standing community, but I would like to, report on the meeting that
Go ahead, Trustee Dyson, go ahead.
Good evening, citizens. Last Thursday, I was invited and kind of directed to attend the clergy meeting with the Congressman Danny Davis and Bobby Rush. And that was last Thursday on the west side. And 4 things that I brought away from that meeting that I want to convey to the citizens. The first thing was that the 2 congressmen, they up for re-election, and they are committee members of powerful committees in Congress there that get a lot of legislation passed in the United States. One of them is the powerful Ways and Means Committee. Of course, they're up for a re-election, and they want the village to support them in their endeavors, especially Congressman Rush in the 1st District. The other thing was that on that particular Thursday, they met with President Biden, and some of you know that the president was out in the collar counties out there, in a lot of industrial areas, and there's a lot of jobs out there, and the congressman brought back that the jobs are where the people are not. And what he means by that is that there's a lot of jobs, a lot of factories out there, but the blue collar workers are not in those locations. So what we was kind of working on, Trustee Jackson and I was trying to, and maybe the county can help us with this, is to try to match the transportation that people in our community need the jobs, be transported to where the jobs are located. Another thing that I wanted to work with the mayor on is, he had those job fairs. Maybe he might have a list of citizens here. So what we want to do is kind of tap into that and try to connect transportation with the people with the jobs. The other thing was that, coming from there, was that the Congressman Rush was very disturbed about the national trend, whereas that the federal government
is paying a lot of the farmers, especially in the red state, paying them not to plant crops. And he was concerned that it may somewhere along the line create food shortages. And he was so concerned until that he kind of like insisted that he become part of the agricultural committee in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to subsequently meet with him and see what we can do on the local level as far as agriculture is concerned, what might be available to the local level coming through his office or that committee or what have you. And so those were the four things that I brought away from that meeting that I want to share with the mayor's board and the citizens of Robbins. That there are jobs out there. It could be at some point in time, just like we was getting that extra money for the COVID relief and stuff like that, and then they kind of cut back on it. It could be a thing whereas that they might start cutting back again, whereas people may have to really go to work. So we want to be proactive and try to get our people lined up so that they can, be part of this job boom out there. Even though they might not have transportation, we want to see what we can do to get them to those locations. So that would be my announcement or report or what have you.
All right, thank you. Standing committee reports. Any follow-up to that comment? Any other standing committee reports? All right, item 5, ordinance, resolutions, contracts, agreements. There is none. Item 6, new business. Letter A, approval of the warrant list.
Mayor Brown,
Trustee Brewer.
there is no warrant list tonight.
No warrant list. Before we go to item 7, I do want to make sure that the village administrator does want to report some things out with some of the current conditions of the village hall. So before we open this up to citizen comments, and I'm gonna let my village administrator talk within this meeting.
Good evening, citizens, mayor, board. So 1 week as village administrator, I feel a responsibility to let you all know, what's going on in our day-to-day, give you some updates. So I met with all department heads and met with several individually. The goal is to start to develop systems and processes that will allow us to communicate between departments more effectively. So we're not, kind of operating as silos, and we can work more efficiently to get the work done. Also had a finance meeting with our finance director and treasurer and our legislative assistant as well. And we also met with department heads to bring to fruition one of the tenets on which the mayor ran his mayoral campaign, which was developing an actual operating budget. Right now, all we have is an appropriation list, which is not a budget. Right, so sometimes, we think, because there's a line item that we have that money to spend, and that's not necessarily the case. So working with each department to develop budgets within each department to hopefully before the end of the year create an actual operating budget, and then give us kind of a practice into moving next year and moving forward where we will have actual operating budget with actuals on what we spend, what's coming in and what's going out, so that we can be more efficient in how we spend and more transparent in our dealings with the citizens. This meeting was also to deep dive into our bills to determine if there are some things that we can start to consolidate to get on track with our bills and potentially enter into some payment plans. And then the board also receives a warrant list. So I'm working in conjunction with Treasurer Newell, with our finance department, finance coordinator Kemp, and with our legislative assistant, Mr. Buckley, to make sure that we develop almost a key to make sure that we understand what's on the warrant list, to make sure the trustees actually understand what they're looking at when they're up here, because, you know, how do we match what's on a warrant list to actual accounts and things of that nature? So making sure that we have a good understanding moving forward, and again, all of this is to move toward developing an actual operating budget to figure out how we can more efficiently allocate our funds. Thank you.
Even just to add to that, that's a report, there's rumbles in the community about, well, Mayor Bryan hasn't followed up with his forensic audit statement that he was saying he was gonna do. Well, obviously, coming into office, we found out that it was way more than what we thought, but here we are with the task, and we're still undercovering some things. Let's not get confused. This is going to take a year and two process. This isn't no 5 months turning around Mayor Bryan and board. This is going to be a year, a 2, and maybe even 3. All right, to see what's really been going on in that village hall these last many years. Okay. Anything else coming for the board?
Mayor Bryan.
Trustee Robinson.
The Village Administrator Washington, I'm glad that you brought that up. So today, we did receive, from Ryan, he gave us copies of the codes, and I was grateful to receive it, because I had a question about, some bills that we were gonna pay that had to do with like the police department, and we had, you know, the invoice number, but the invoice number wasn't matched to like a car, so if we had elastics of a van, just to know what we're spending, I think it was like almost $15,000. So I do appreciate that, because we do need to understand, you know, we're all a part of this as stakeholders, and we do need to understand what we're looking at. So it's not like an attack when you're asking a question. It's just for clarity. You know, we're gonna write a check for $15,000. You have an invoice number, but it doesn't, that invoice means nothing to me. And, you know, Ms. Newell said that we can come down to the village. Well, I teach from 9 to 4. By the time I get out, you guys are already closed. So I just think just us comprehensively being on the same page and being able to know what we're looking at intelligently, you know, with this little code key that they gave us, this is perfect. I wish we would have had it 5 months ago, but better late than never. And so I appreciate the fact that we are getting some orders so some things can make greater sense, and maybe we won't have to ask questions because we already have the information. You know, we're all very intelligent people. That's why the citizens voted for everybody that's sitting up here. They believe in us. So I believe that we can take something like this, look at it and match it up. And we do have questions. And so now when a bill is being paid, instead of saying it's attached to the invoice, well, I'm never gonna come down to the finance office to look through papers to do that, you know. But I do think that if you're asking us to approve something, we should know what we're approving. And that's just that, you know, and that's just being also fiscally responsible on behalf of the citizens that we represent. Hey, Miss Kathy, any of them, Ms. Murphy, they will pull up to my house and ask me a question. And I want to be able to intelligently be able to respond to the people, more than just them, that have questions about what it is that we're actually doing financially within the village. So I do appreciate your diligence on that.
All right. Without further ado, this is not a funny moment. I actually checked on that ordinance again, and I believe citizens' comments is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so I was cheating you out 30 seconds these last couple weeks, so I apologize on that. Okay, but we'll open this up for comments from the citizens. Ms. Wilson, hold on. Hold on.
You got 30 extra seconds.
Can I get the time you cheated me out of last?
She got 3 minutes.
Can't go back in time. You're supposed to gotta move forward for a motion.
That's 5 times 1.
All right, Ms. Wilson.
I just want to know, how soon are we going to be able to do the necessary repairs at the community center?
In what regards? Like elevator,
The
water?
washrooms, yeah.
That's perfect.
Okay, it's still village owned though, Ms. Johnson. So let me reach out to President Robeson of the Park District, you know, who occupy the facility and whatnot, then we can coordinate from there.
But I thought that it belongs to the village.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, we gotta communicate with the,
So wouldn't the village know when they can make the repairs?
yes, but that's like saying I own a building, if I'm not communicating who's occupying the building, what needs to be repaired. You know, it starts with communication, so let me reach out to President Robeson of the Park District, so I can know what needs to be repaired. You know, I haven't had no formal communication yet, so I'll establish that.
Well, I think it's common knowledge what needs to be
Yeah,
repaired.
It is,
We all know that.
and every village facility is common knowledge, you know, but at the end of the day, it takes some collaborative communication to see what we can do, what we can't do. You know, the village hall, the police department isn't the only bad building, the village hall is bad, my office is leaking. You know, so everybody's in this together.
All right, thank you.
Comments for the citizens? Ms. Johnson?
Yes, well, it's something I actually wanted to talk to Trustee Robinson about after the meeting.
Absolutely.
Just some things, some ordinance I wanted to cover with her. So, that was one of my concerns. So, yes, I'll be with her.
Thank you.
Anybody on this side of the aisle? Comments from the citizens? My brother, I don't know your name, but always good to hear you, brother.
No. Excuse me. No, I had something totally different that I wanted to talk about, but y'all have already spoken, and each one of y'all conversations about, you know, what y'all doing as far as the grocery stores and all the training and stuff like that. And y'all have spoken very well on that, and I gotta give y'all highly respect for that. And like I'm saying, if there's any kind of way that on any of those projects that y'all spoke upon, I'll be gladly to help and assist in, you know, with nothing, you know. I'll volunteer my service for something like what you all were speaking about. But the main thing is, I came in for, you know, it's about like community development, like you said, grocery stores and everything like that, and licenses and stuff that you're speaking about for the people in the village of Robbins. Because see, it's not just about the grocery store. We have a very lot of people in Robbins that cooks. And they might do their own things, like some of these elders where I learned from. And that's where I'm working on now myself as far as cooking. I have my own cooking trailer, trying to get all my license and that and stuff. When I was a little kid, we used to have this guy with a station wagon selling hot dogs after, you know, when we get out for lunch and like that, you know, and things like that. Robbins was based upon, you know, and stuff. And that's why I'm saying, I'm not gonna say too much, but that's what my conversation was about. And that about the development of different branches of training our kids and training them, you know, with different trades and stuff. Because see, it's the project that I have also, it's a trade thing that I have, but it's a lot of ideas that's going on in my mind and stuff, and I like to see stuff like that back into Robbins.
And I want to make sure that you are aware of the CDBG, you know, you gave me the ordinance 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So there is a bid opening right now.
Okay.
So please stop down to the village hall, to the clerk's office, get information about the project, see if you can qualify for it and apply, or put in a bid.
Okay. Okay. Also, because like you said, putting in bids for other things, like I say, my number 2 son, I call him 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2 son, he has his own business, construction, $3 million license and bonded, insured, you know. So, you know, I'm gonna come. You say, when should I do that?
Come tomorrow, man.
Tomorrow, what time?
Give us the morning, so come, I say come afternoon,
Afternoon?
12, 1.
Well, I'll be here. I'll just leave a message, because I gotta go anyway.
You
So
can see the clerk's office or my office.
tomorrow, the clerk's office. Okay. Y'all have a blessed.
You too.
No, I don't think I'm gonna speak on that tonight. I'll wait and talk to Trustee Robinson about our codes and how revenue can come into the village through that.
Comments from a citizen? Okay, seeing and hearing none, anything else to come before the board? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And Bryant,
Trustee Robinson.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting until our next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Moved by Trustee Robinson, second by Trustee Rudin, to adjourn today's regular scheduled council meeting to the next scheduled council meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it, 7:52 p.m. You was aggressive tonight, Ms. Walker. Very aggressive tonight, Ms. Walker.